That's Mike.
That's Toya.
And this is Tech Beats and Bytes.
So we just got a lot to discuss today.
So much. So much.
But before we get into it, because I'm definitely going to forget, thanks to the Knight Foundation.
And before I get a little too racy.
Thanks to Culture Infused Creations, Digital Grass, Cosmology, the beer with Timeline Brewery, and for our guest, Dwight. I mean, you've been on time 3 weeks in a row. I know you're tired because it's a lot going on.
Well, and you are everywhere.
Hey, you gotta everywhere you gotta be. We got things to do.
It's a lot that has to be said today. So I figured for those that are watching, and I guess I want to save the best parts of it. So I say, let's go ahead and go through the breakdown of the amendments since we
did a whole show.
We did a whole show on it.
Absolutely.
Which one's won and which one's lost?
Yeah.
Yeah. I
That's
figured
easy.
we'll just go through everything since Dwight was here pushing certain things, and we weren't trying to sway. We were definitely trying to inform.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. So we'll just go through the breakdown. We'll go back and forth. So amendment number 1, which was we're not doing the long versions. We're doing the short version. Increased property tax exemption. It failed. 58 voted to approve, 60% approval was needed.
Right.
So it fell 2% short.
Correct.
So is that the way you wanted that to go, sir?
That's the way I wanted that to go.
All right. So Dwight was right with number 1. So as of now, he is 1 for 0. So
right.
We're keeping score.
Are we doing tallies?
Yeah, we're going to keep scoring.
By the time we get to the bottom of this, we ain't going to make the Super Bowl.
Amendment number 2, limitations on property tax assessments. That one passed.
Mm-hmm.
I think, wasn't that one a no?
I voted no on it, but such is life.
I think that was the one that I was on a toss-up. You talking about the aspect of coming into it as investments and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah,
I voted no.
property.
So, but it got approved. So
Yeah.
Amendment number 3, voter control of gambling in Florida.
That's it.
It got approved. The Mouse and the Seminoles won.
The mouse. You
So
can't
how
put
do
that
you
kind of
think
money
that's gonna
behind
happen?
something and expect it not to get some votes. It's going to be tricky moving forward. Right now, the Seminole tribe has not made an official announcement on whether or not this violates the compact, but they will, and that money will dry up.
Right.
And
then
you all
what's
gonna have
next?
to find some new money to do it with. But the problem is, it's hard to find new money because, drum roll please, another amendment passed as well. That could limit that.
We're going to get to that one, but
Exactly.
it may have worked out for the short term, but the long term ain't really looking too good for them.
Right.
All right.
So, amendment number 4. That was a huge one. That one passed. And that is, of course, for voting restoration for felons.
No doubt.
Huge.
And what a lot of folks have been asking me questions about is, what does this mean? Does it go through the same process as medicinal marijuana where the legislature has to chime in? Unlike that amendment, this one is self-executing. So once it's certified that it did in fact pass, those folks would be eligible.
To then register to vote, because there's still a process, right?
Absolutely.
They need to register to vote and go through get back into the system.
That's it.
Yeah.
But they'd be eligible to fill out that form and get their voter registration card. So I'm here for it.
But just so that, like you said, but the fight isn't over.
Mm-hmm.
To all those individuals, now that it has passed, we need to make sure they understand, become registered voters, and vote.
That part.
Do not get the rights back and not do anything.
And
with
sit
it.
on them.
So that was good.
Because based on the news that's coming later, a lot of folks got a lot of faith in that 1.4 million.
Oh, they do.
And I was just thinking, I'm like,
They do.
it's 1.4 million that we're depending on. We still got 50% of them that's not voting in general. So like,
Yeah. And then, too, it's still a mixed bag of people. like felons are across all different spectrums. So it's not like it's a whole bunch of Democrats.
And I was about to say, people
Sitting
don't
in that
realize
bag.
a lot of them felons is up there in the panhandle.
Right.
They're in very red areas. So
Right.
granted, a lot of people are getting there.
It's gonna spread across.
But unlike what people may perceive, it's not just a whole bunch of black
Black folks.
Democrats locked
Right.
up.
Right.
So
That part.
this helps out other people too. But
Absolutely.
hopefully, when they do get their rights back, they will remember which party was fighting for them to get those rights back.
Is the hope. If not, but we gonna be out here registering. New Florida majority will definitely be.
Yeah?
on the
Y'all got a
streets.
plan?
Yeah, registering voters, no doubt.
Everybody should have a voice, but just remember who was fighting for you to have that voice. Amendment 5, the supermajority vote required to impose authorization or raise state taxes or fees. That one got approved.
That one got approved. So, Florida, way to be Florida.
So just so I know, people are wondering if we were on our count right now. Dwight is 2 of 5 at this point.
Yes,
Okay.
with more losses to come.
But it's good for people to understand though. Well, actually, there's no losses.
Yeah,
I know
I mean-
you're very happy with just the voting itself.
Yeah.
we had a
Yeah,
we had a great
absolutely.
turnout.
I like the turnout.
Hold on, I'm sorry. Let's not get distracted. Go ahead. Let's get through this.
Right. Let's keep it on the
It's-
amendment.
It's so much to talk about.
Number 5. Wait, did we just do that one? We did. Number 6. Rights of crime victims, and then the judges. That was a two for one. That one passed.
It's just me shaking my head judgmentally as you say. I'm just terrible.
Yeah.
Like Charles Barkley would say, terrible.
Chelsea Grammer pushed this through, and he don't even know.
He don't
know what he did. I think again that was one that was kind of confusing for me because I understand what it does, like you said, for corporations to be able to go and other people to be able to go after people to maybe extend their sentences, but I do understand the safety side. But like you said, the safety side was already in place.
It's already there.
So for and we'll get to the people that might not have went all the way down the ballot. First responder and military member survivor benefits, public colleges and universities.
That was another compound.
Yeah,
one.
the compound got approved, man.
Yeah.
I don't,
Yep.
but never mind. So go ahead, Tori.
Number 9.
8 was dropped from the ballot. By the way.
Right. So we're skipping down to number 9. Prohibits offshore oil and gas drilling and prohibits vaping in enclosed indoor workplaces. That one passed.
And listen, I understand why people voted for it. It passed overwhelmingly. I can't really be overly mad at a ban on drilling. But, it's got there's some poison pills, folks, so just get ready for it when they come. That's all I can
Hold on 1 second.
All right.
Fix your
Angles
mic.
matter.
Fix your
Angles
mic.
matter.
No doubt.
All right. Amendment 10, state and local government structure and operation, got approved. I know I voted no for that one.
Judgmental. I'm looking at y'all with all kinds of dirty looks right now. 'Cause this, for me, the biggest problems were 1, 5, 6, and 10. And, the other ones that passed, I could have dealt with it, but the idea of now forcing people to have to vote for a sheriff, forcing people to have to vote for a supervisor of elections. And
Yeah.
just so you know, the Broward supervisor of elections is elected. Just FYI. So it's that kind of stuff that you don't know who you're going to get in certain spaces. You kind of just need professionals, but I'll get off my soapbox.
Number 11. Property rights, semicolon. Removal of obsolete provisions, semicolon. Criminal statutes. That one was approved. That was 3 in 1.
No, I didn't. I voted no for that
Right.
one, so I didn't know how that was going to get approved. But I guess maybe people are thinking about their Airbnb properties and how they going to get this money in. But
Right. Or listening to the advertising.
everything is messed up by the time you get your Airbnb. But whatever. Amendment number 12, lobbying and abuse of office by public officers. That got approved. I really thought we had made a case for that one. I didn't see that one going through.
Listen, okay. It's like people gonna be like, man, we banned lobbyists. All right.
Yeah.
I mean, everything you thought was public is about to go ultra private at this point.
Man.
Please. Yeah, it's a wrap.
I mean, I might change my career, but I mean,
Right, go get that money. Listen.
yeah.
Entrepreneurs, hey, new opportunity. And Amendment 13, to wrap it up, the end of dog racing. That one was approved.
So I get it. The dogs are free.
Yay.
We get to set the dogs free. But
Meanwhile, the horses are still racing.
We're still breaking their back. You know.
Mr. Ed is still there.
Yeah, he's a lot though at Gulfstream.
Lassie goes
see
free,
him.
but Mr. Ed is
Yep.
still going to be putting in that work.
Still in shackles.
Now, what I'll say with that one is that one has an execution of January of 2021 or 2020 that it has to deal with. And part of that is to fix that problem I mentioned last time, which is if you don't fix the issue with the current dog tracks now, those places have to shut down. All those jobs go with them. All the money goes with them. So the legislature's really got to figure something out. And the problem is, the issue's going to pop up is if you're running horses, which are expensive to run,
Right.
you're looking at them like, so you're going to make me keep doing mine, but you're going to let them just have a pass because that's what the voters wanted. And, you know, elections have consequences. I'm going to leave it at that.
That they do, and we're starting to see it now.
So I guess we might as well stick with the bites and just
Keep it going.
All right.
Keep it going. No need to let up, step on the gas.
So the Democrats did take over the U.S. control of the Senate. The Georgia governor race is still up in the air. And
We won the House, though, to
Yes, we
the
got the
Senate
House.
comment.
So let's go ahead and just do the recap of what we do know and what we don't know. It's just so much, man.
Kick it off there, Mike. You know what I'm saying?
All right, let's dig into it. Okay.
What are your top 3 items that you want to delve into?
Well, you know what? If I'm going to go into the top 3, I don't even know where this is at on our list. We do have a recount coming for the governor. So
And Senator.
Yeah, and senator. So
You put it back on the table, man. It's still viable.
the posters still have value.
Still
Y'all did y'all job. It's still happening. What's that, AP?
And Agricultural Commissioner.
Yes, the agriculture commissioner was
Gets a
able to. It
recount.
flipped.
It flipped.
It's going to be a recount, but it has flipped. That's good.
But when people sit there and talk about elections don't matter, let's be clear.
Yes.
The agriculture commissioner for the state of Florida is now boiled down to less than 500 votes.
Right. Every vote counts.
Let's and to break it down for further
Counts.
people. You know, that's 100 people reaching out to 5 friends
Right.
and getting them to vote.
Right.
That's a network. That could be a party.
That's exactly.
That's almost
what it
somebody's
was.
wedding.
That's a good party. That's a good party that made that difference.
Yeah.
I
Put it
mean,
this way, more people will be at Story tonight. Than
That needs right. Just like that.
determine the election.
that's just everybody in this building voting. That's what could have made that change.
Exactly.
So let's get into the recount part. Yeah. I mean, if everybody here in the audience right now just went out and
And
voted,
watching on Facebook.
it could have turned it. So for those of you who thought the election was over on Tuesday, it's just not over.
Right. Here we are.
Florida just being Florida, baby. That's
Look,
what we do.
The
And
new
Georgia
saying
right now.
is
Listen.
definitely gonna have to be "Don't Florida this up."
Oh, yeah.
I mean, DeSantis may have been on to something, just the wrong word. Just don't Florida this up. So I don't know what's going on with Opalaga. Whoever is over that post office and whatever is going on in Broward, like.
Overlog would be like 3 steps back, 1 step forward, another 3 steps back. Like,
But
y'all just got the youngest mayor
I was about to say,
in
Right.
history.
the mayor. Shout out to our boy for winning
Yeah.
it, but listen, okay.
Go through the list.
Bruh, it's just it's overwhelming.
I know.
I told y'all we shouldn't have did this show with beer. This was a whiskey show. I could have calmed
I'm
myself
saying.
down and make it through the list. All right, so Broward and Palm Beach officials are still counting votes, and it looks like we're going to have a statewide recount for the governor, U.S. Senate, and the state agriculture commissioner.
Yes.
Just want y'all to be clear on that. That's what's happening in Florida. So everybody can quit inboxing me, texting me early in the morning. You did your job. We getting the recount. We on task. The other question that I've been getting personally. Yes, I did the poster. Yes, I know Andrew very well. Yes, I know Sharon. I know a lot of people. I do not know why he conceded. Quit asking me. I wasn't there. I don't know why he did what he did.
I've
But
been getting that call.
I'm
all
sure
day
you
myself.
have.
yeah, it's
I'm
just
sure you
it
have.
doesn't matter. Maybe he was just tired. Maybe he just wanted to take care of his wife and children. Maybe he just wanted to go to sleep that night. But the boy is back on. He made his announcement. The video is on my page if you want to see what he said. Questions are being raised about why 24,000 people voted for governor but not as Senate in Broward. It's Broward. Like, we talked about this whole down ballot
Right,
thing.
vote down the ballot.
We tried to express that to so many people. You can't just vote for president. You can't just vote for your governor.
Right.
All these things affect you.
You just with the flagship. We just gonna do the highlights. No, everything else counts and it matters, and it affects your day to day more than you think.
It's people are addicted to their phones.
Right.
You have your phones in the booth. There's no reason why you couldn't spend 20 minutes to
Yeah.
go through the whole ballot.
But bringing up the amendments again, there was like a 2 million vote drop off from the people who voted for governor
And got to the amendments.
So it was just like, folks are just,
We ain't doing it.
I'm here to vote.
Take this ballot.
I'm out the door.
I mean, like, are you really in that much of a rush that you don't understand life?
Right. I think it just goes back to voter education. People not wanting to cast a vote for something that they don't know. So they're like, I'm just gonna leave it blank and take this on in.
I mean, just be like Republicans. Even if you don't know, just go red on everything.
Clearly, the people who just were the yes bandits out here who are just bubbling in things
Yes.
for no good reason. It still boggles my mind. It's still
Some of that stuff hurt. To
Like-
read it, it hurt.
like to read it hurt, but it'd be like the first sentence would tell. On some of them was just like, this is wrong. I shouldn't bubble this. But people were just like looking at it, squinting their eyes, and being like, I'm still gonna go for it though.
It might help
Still
somehow.
gonna go for it. And I'm still trying to figure out the fall off from 1 to the rest of them.
To
right?
13.
Like
Oh, I don't get that part.
what is it about 10 that spoke to you that 1 was just like, I don't like it.
It was a bubbling fatigue. It was like, oh, I'm tired of doing these circles. It's just
I don't want as much money through my homestead tax exemption, but I do want an office of domestic terrorism.
right.
So this just in from our associate producer. It's also a question that may come up during the recount. Some people are saying their senator wasn't on their ballot, or they didn't see it. But they actually, this is once again, Florida. Y'all have art schools, colleges, let somebody else redesign these ballots.
For real.
The ballots just don't have to look that bad. It's already huge as hell.
Yeah.
The ballot should look like the
They're
blue
clumsy.
and gold kits that the white came in. Like, make them look better. Like, the ballot shouldn't be that confusing. It was horrible. The placement was bad. The placement and the flow, I think it should be across. You should have everything
Right.
across, and whatever you're voting on should be under it. And so it should be sectioned off. I don't like the columns. The columns don't work for people. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just a bad structural flow. Hire Medium 4 to redesign the ballots for 2020. That's going to be my suggestion.
But also going back to our previous conversation, I know you had mentioned around why don't we have like electronic machines, and this is the reason why, right? Is because had you had like a thumb drive that calculated everything, you now are susceptible to people saying, I don't know, I know I filled this out, I can't. Now you actually have physical, and it's tedious, it's absolutely unnecessary in 2018, but at the same time, it is absolutely necessary in 2018.
And
Yeah,
just like with
Scantron
the,
style.
right, but just like with the hanging chads, people are saying now possibly they didn't fill in the bubbles enough to where it picked up. So
Right.
this hand count might reveal a lot, but people, patience. We all played tic-tac-toe growing up. Just fill in the circle. Stay inside the line.
Right. You took the SAT when you was in high school, the HSCT. You know
knew
how to
what to
bowl
do.
that thing in?
You knew what to do. So
Yeah.
the Florida law requires counties to report early voting and vote by mail results within 30 minutes after polls close. Obviously, Broward missed all of that memo.
Shout out to Brenda.
Right. Looking at all them 954 people.
Broward was just like, yeah, whatever. Y'all will get to it. Opalaka was just like, let's put the boxes in the back. We worried about these bombs coming through. So now, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I'm just thinking.
Oh, no.
Clay went on TV.
Oh, no.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Did the bombs come through to distract the ballots getting delivered? Like, because he didn't, if you think about it strategically, he had no way to offset the bombs.
Right.
There was no way to actually detonate
There was
the
no
bomb.
like remote system that he had there.
So he built the
It
bomb.
was all a master plan. It was a master plan.
I mean, he
But
was
he-
a Trump supporter.
He
Right.
pretty much sent the remote control with no batteries. It wasn't gonna go boom. But it was enough for Opalaka to put all these votes just to the side and be like, we'll get to them.
We only looking for suspicious packages.
We know what these
ballots,
are.
These ballots will get there when they get
They're
there.
safe.
So,
Stash.
43 hours after polls closed, 2 Democrat strongholds in Broward County and Palm Beach County are still counting, and we don't know how many more ballots are remaining to be counted. So we just don't even have an idea what's going on.
Absolutely horrible.
But what I'm trying to figure out is who was on the phone on Tuesday night talking about we 100%, like or 99%, like,
right.
Yeah,
like
what
when you
what
call-
what
like,
is
what
99% to you?
You know what I'm saying? When CNN is over here talking about, Broward, we don't know how many votes left over, and you literally go, we ain't talking about like 2,000-3,000. We talking
Yeah.
like 70,000, 80,000 votes.
Look, man.
Just out.
This what I'm trying to. This is like an infomercial. It's a 99% chance it's gonna work for you. No, it ain't. It's
Right.
ain't gonna. That 1% is dying. So change the commercial, change the tone.
Listen. And then the thing
We've
that-
been fighting for Broward. We fight for Broward on this show. We talked about the Tri-County inclusion.
Right.
We've been pushing for people from Miami to just drive up the street, come to Broward County, and then Broward do
Act a
this to
fool.
us.
Act a fool.
And they
But-
just-
Out of control.
Broward was the last, out of all 67 counties in August, Broward was the last one to report. You would think somebody might be like, you know what? We should probably do better. We should probably do better between now and then. And yet somehow,
Yet and
some
still.
way,
It still was broken. Still was broken. But my thing is, it's crazy how, all this corruption it just swirls around election time. But the main thing that they talk about is voter fraud. Like,
right.
that's not even a highlight or a headline.
no. And that's going to be their argument. This time it's like, all these are fraudulent votes. We're like, no, these are actually cast votes.
People.
By actual real people.
Right.
that
Leave
they
it to
didn't
Trump.
count.
It's a whole bunch of Mexicans that place
yeah.
these votes. I mean, this is just horrible.
Oh no, he's gonna be like, there's 7,500 there. That's the caravan coming up. They all cast ballots and
Even
ballots.
though they
Okay. And drop them off.
Even though they 875 miles away, still it's an invasion.
I can't.
What?
I can't with any of them. Yeah.
Oh, CNN bought them up. We go. That's for the day's ignorance. We're gonna talk up. So Andrew Gillum's campaign has hired attorney Barry Richard, who represented the Bush campaign during the 200. My associate producer. I'm just playing. What is 200?
Right.
We was voting then. I'm sorry. The 2000
Right.
presidential election, and Senator Bill Nelson's team has hired Mark, I don't know how to say that. Elias, an election attorney who worked on a successful Democratic recount for former Senators Harry Reid and Al Franken.
There you go.
So at least we're on the right side with the lawyers.
Yeah, if you can't beat them, join them, man. That's how it goes down.
Somebody needs some representation because this is just crazy. I mean, the whole thing.
So,
Bring the law.
This is just so Florida.
won't you kick in the other election news? Let's even though this ain't Florida related, I quickly want to jump into everything that's going on
Yeah.
with
No, absolutely.
Jeff Sessions and that.
But before we get there,
Yeah, go
there were
ahead.
some really great highlights from election night in terms of the number of women that were elected
Indeed.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
the diversity of the women elected, right? They didn't just all look the same. You had
Yeah,
women
that's
of
right.
So we're
all
going
different.
nationwide right now. So for
Yeah.
everybody watching, we're going to talk about the nationwide wins.
Absolutely.
Not just the blue wave, but just
Just overall, just some highlights before
overall,
we get
good
into the
stuff.
crazy again.
Okay, that's
You got to sprinkle some sugar before you get into the South.
So I want to say this one, even though it represents you, I want to say it as a black man.
Okay, what you got?
Congratulations to the 19 black women that were elected as judges in Harris County, Texas.
Absolutely.
All
That was
19 of
huge.
them that actually ran won.
Right.
If Houston can start going blue and have black judges, there is hope.
Well, let's be clear. Houston, stay blue. Houston
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, we just need Texas.
Just need Texas.
It's the rest of it.
If Texas would follow Houston, that'd be great. Just
They look
follow-
like us.
Follow them 19 black women to the right. To the
Texas
proper
look like Florida. It looks like chicken pox of blue.
Yeah, little-
Just
I'm gonna leave the black women comment for today's ignorance too.
Oh.
There's an 18% I want to talk about. Go ahead, Toy.
So Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez will be the youngest woman ever elected to Congress. Sharice Davis and Deb Haaland became the first Native American women elected to the U.S. legislature. I mean, that's beyond crazy.
Right.
That it took that
we
long.
are in
You
2018.
came here, snatched your land. And
Take
now
your whole land and you now just get in.
Yes.
Just getting Congress.
Like, for real, for real.
And some people wouldn't even take the time to realize that's something to celebrate.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
actually the
But we're
sad
going to
part.
celebrate it here today.
We definitely celebrate.
Right. So Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib became the first Muslim women serving in Congress.
Yes, yes.
Huge, huge, huge. Ayanna Pressley will be the first black woman to represent the state of Massachusetts in the House.
Yes.
That was dope.
Kristi Noem, although Republican, became the state of South Dakota's first female governor.
Shout out for that. Women gonna
Right.
run things. We need women to get this back together.
So
Go
it's
ahead.
pretty huge. It's pretty huge. We
Yeah.
got some other highlights.
Well, for the first time in history, there are 100 women in Congress. I mean, that is by far a smaller number than it needs to be.
Right.
But the fact that
It's an advancement.
We've gotten to the 3 digits is important across the board. And you highlighted here in Florida, for instance, we flipped 2 seats that are now held by 2 women members of Congress. Here in South Florida, Donna Shalala,
Yep.
who this building was purchased during her tenure at
Exactly.
University of Miami, and Debbie Merkel-Sao Paulo, who beat Carlos Carbello
Yes.
for the District 26 seat. So it's big things popping. Not to mention Auntie Maxine gets the chair
What?
of committee.
That's
Oh,
gonna
she
be
is
crazy.
in it.
That's
She's
gonna be
coming for
crazy.
them receipts. I hope you got them.
Well, can't wait to see them
I
taxes.
loved all the
receipts.
memes when she was like sitting in the crowd, like, y'all about to get it. I was like, yes.
She about to body the whole administration.
All of
I'm telling
it.
you, get your tax returns ready, fellas.
So
All of
Auntie
it.
Maxine got a magnifying glass and time.
Jared Polis became the U.S. First openly gay man elected as governor. Florida elected its first Iranian American lawmaker in the state legislation.
Anna Eskamani, yes indeed. Good people.
Transgender candidates won in 4 states. Cities in Minnesota and Montana elected their first black mayors.
Yep.
Still not moving there, but congratulations.
And a black attorney general. Shout out to Keith Ellison,
Yep.
who was elected attorney general in Minnesota.
And Charlotte, North Carolina has elected its first black female mayor.
Well, they had that, yeah. That's been going on for a minute. I appreciate it. 2017. That's news. News from throwback news. Is that
Right. So I have to be honest. I definitely felt the Ted Cruz was going to be ousted. It was so close
I
for
had
a
hope.
second.
I had hope.
It was so close for
But
a second.
it's progression. It's the progression we need.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
when people were talking about, even when we thought Andrew might lose, because he ain't gonna lose. We coming
Right,
back.
no. The recount's real.
Right. When we thought he might lose, the biggest thing is they're young. You know, they have enough opportunities
To
to
do it
run
again.
He can run
Absolutely.
again. So he just got to sit tight, continue to serve the public, keep his head on straight, and come
And
back.
stay
for 'em.
active.
Yeah.
Don't fall to the
But
shadows.
there's
Yes.
also an Andrew effect, just like there's a Beto effect, where
Yeah.
you actually had seats that people thought weren't going to be taken in both states. Like Texas was able to flip, I think, 4 seats in Congress that had been normally uncontested, that were swing seats that went a particular way because they had a statewide candidate that made it.
I mean,
Reflected it,
it's
yeah.
it's like Ply said. We went from here to here, and I'm still dancing. I'm still dancing for.
You got to celebrate the victories.
Look,
Listen.
all I want is Plies to keep that energy.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's a whole demographic that he reaches that even Gillum can't reach. And people do not know. Let's just make something clear. Plies is pretty much telling a story of his brother that was one of the main little dope boys in Fort Myers. Plies is a very educated black man. It's not accidental that every summer he hits you guys with a song or a dance to do, running off on the plug twice rock. He understands marketing. He understands strategy. That's the reason why Ted Lucas signed him to Slip and Slide. That young man is a marketing genius with a college degree, I believe.
Shout out to USF. Yeah.
Yes. Plies is not just a hood rapper with gold teeth. That boy has a college degree and is working it.
Right.
Working it. So let's just make that clear. Oh, yes. I don't know if I want to talk about that. I feel some. First of all, the fact that he won and Gillum is not in office.
Wait, no one knows what you're talking about.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's right. So The Bunny Ranch man.
Exactly. Anyone, I know folks out there watch the HBO.
Anyone that ever watched HBO.
Watch HBO.
Dennis Hoff was actually elected into office.
Even though he's dead.
Is that the first time in history that's ever happened?
No, oddly enough.
Oh.
That's crazy.
Who else got put in the office dead?
I know it happens because the ballot is printed.
Your job is to start Googling it when I ask you that question, AP. Put the cup down and
Right. Meanwhile, back to another woman victory. Lucy McBath won Georgia's 6th congressional district,
Yes.
and she was the mom of Jordan Davis.
Big shout out to
That's
District
huge.
to Georgia 6, and big shout out to Lucy McBath.
Yeah, absolutely.
Amazing person.
Who'd you
Lost
just
her
say?
son.
Lucy McBath,
Jordan
Davis' mom.
You missed the mama part. I ain't hear the mama part.
Yeah, I said mom.
Oh, yeah.
You just weren't listening.
You right. It's a
You
look.
going through your nose.
First of all, I understand now why Bill Maher be having these on cars. It's a lot to scroll
Yeah.
through.
No, it's a lot.
And that's a big shout out again to the Abrams effect in Georgia, right? Because what people don't know about District 6 is last time when they tried to take District 6, they literally spent $23 million to another $3 million and couldn't flip it with a white young candidate that they thought was progressive enough to do it. But now you run a black woman 2 years later,
Right.
in a year in which Stacey Abrams is doing all those big things, and guess what? The Atlanta suburbs showed up.
Right, it's a halo.
Yeah,
It
so
just sprinkled all around. That's what's up.
there's definitely
So let's also get into the positivity. Barack Obama issued the following statement Wednesday morning. Congratulations to everybody who showed up and participated in our democracy in record numbers yesterday. The change we need won't come from one election alone, but it's a start. Last night, voters across the country started it, and that's actually a great sentiment of what we're experiencing. This is the change that we need. We just need more people to participate.
Yeah. And not just wait for the presidential year. Like local elections
or we just
are
need
so
Kemp
important.
to not hide voting machines
yeah.
during.
I mean, that too. That's huge.
I'm just saying,
But
Kemp, Cobb County, Fulton County, we know where all the black people in Atlanta stay. Why they only had 2 machines, bro? And then you gonna
He tried to do
resign?
them counties like Walmart cashiers. It's terrible.
right, just make them wait.
You know, that means he walked in Walmart and was like, I got an idea. He probably walked in at like
He,
11 o'clock at night.
pro-
Was like,
he probably saw Walmart's like,
Or he took it from clubs. We just gonna make them wait in the line.
we gonna make it
long
seem
to come
busier than
inside.
it is. Just put
Right.
them on that holding
Right,
pattern.
just sit them outside. It's empty in here.
You, not you.
right.
what's crazy about his voter suppression, though, is nobody was balking when he was sitting there. He literally held up 170,000 registrations. Like, think about that. Like, when
Yeah,
you think
that's a
about
lot.
that margin,
Right. That's huge.
170,000 registrations, they said
A lot of people.
68% of them were black. He just, yeah, they registered, but I don't feel like giving them their registration.
Look, I don't see how he wasn't disqualified. I don't see how he avoids a lawsuit and doesn't possibly
Right.
serve some time. And due to the fact, this is the part. You know how normally when you go somewhere, you get to relieve stress? You know, the whole point of flying and traveling. We doing business here and in Atlanta. So I just went from one stress point to another stress. Those were the most awkward plane flights I've ever taken. It was like, I don't know if I can talk to you. I just don't know. It was tense up there, but I would say the one thing, I didn't feel the same energy in Atlanta that I felt down here in Florida.
But in what way? Break that. Explain.
I
that.
just feel like the energy here was more positive and more active. I think people desperately believe in Stacey, but I felt a little bit of complacency. I felt some people were just a little comfortable. They just thought she had it in the bag. Almost like there was no way she could lose. Versus down here, I felt like more people know there's always a chance we can lose.
Right.
And I think some people got to remember, Georgia ain't nothing but Alabama if you remove Atlanta out of Georgia.
Again, it's an island in
With
a red
whole bunch
sea.
of red, whole bunch of red around there.
Yeah.
And that's why one of the things we talked about with the person that's producing our shirts and everything for Andrew, when he jumped out so early, it felt good. But if you know better, there's a lot of people don't realize this. In the state of Florida, there's an Eastern time zone and a Central time zone. And everything that's central is as red as the red tide. It's harsh over there. And it's a lot of bodies over there, and it's a lot of people in Pensacola. And so that's when I knew I was like, I can't celebrate till we get to the Panhandle. I just really, from being from the Panhandle and the fact that we're dealing with the hurricane and the aftermath in Panama City, more so Lynn Haven, Springfield, Callaway, Parker, Millville, all the cities that are not Panama City Beach, I would really like to know from everybody in the Panhandle, what did Rick Scott and or Ron DeSantis say for you or to you that made you decide voting for them would be a good choice?
Come on now.
I just besides the fact of, I'm not saying you're racist, but the racists say you're racist. I would just, we have a theme, and the first new shirt that we're going to produce to start wearing in the 2019 is put your own mask on first. Secure the mask, because if you ain't breathing, you're dead, and you can't help nobody else.
Right?
So, all right.
Yeah, but going back to Georgia really quick, what can be done against Kemp? Like, because I just feel like he just broke all kind of like laws. Like, there has to be some sort of like repercussion, something.
So now that he's resigned as Secretary of State, even if he were to be confirmed as governor, he could still leave himself susceptible to a lawsuit just based on the nature of how he ran the operation, right? So when you're talking about missing voting machines, you're talking about holding up those kinds of things, those are violations of the still existing parts of the Voting Rights Act, right? So if you a civil rights lawyer in Atlanta, you licking your chops because it's about to go down because you've basically violated the 15th Amendment. You know what I mean? And especially if you're dealing specifically with African American folks and you find enough African American plaintiffs, of which there are plenty, to go and say that they felt a sense of disenfranchisement or blocked. And you know, I wouldn't say it's cut and dry because, you know, you could run things up to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court's got its own issues. Yeah. But for
RGB, we need you, girl.
But for those circuits,
you got to heal them ribs. But
yeah, it's pretty obvious and it's pretty blatant.
Exactly.
And I'm sure there's a paper trail somewhere that
to confirm it all.
Cover. You know what? Michael Avenatti, Stormy Daniels' lawyer.
Jump on it.
Jump on it, because you know how to find all the paper trails.
Let's do something with your time. Let's use your time.
So
the Missouri Governor Mel Carnahan won the election to the Senate in Missouri in 2000, 38 days after passing away in a plane crash.
So that's to the answer to the question before about who was elected but was actually gone.
Yeah,
had passed away.
They moved his wife to be in his place, but yeah, he was elected even though he had passed away.
Okay, so there was 5 notable people that have actually won elections
while deceased.
Yes. Okay.
And they hadn't resurrected yet.
So do we want to go into the Trump madness, or do we want to do a little bit of technology real quick?
Technology, man. Let's break it up. Wow.
All right. We'll get back to it.
Right, we need a break.
Let's just skim through some of the technology. So I'm going to jump down. Shout out to Maven and all the women that be looking for their bundles by the, yes, I said bundles. Looking for your bundles at wholesale price. Black-owned beauty startup Maven Inc. is in the hair extension business, announced that it has raised an additional $23 million in its Series B funding. I would like to give a special shout out to Cross Culture Ventures. That was one of the 5 investors that led that. The company was started in 2013 with the aim of helping hairstylists sell products directly to their customers. Just a big thing. As you know, black hair business is a very large thing, but if you ever go into a black hair shop, it's normally not owned by black people. So to have this opportunity to help the salon owners and those sell directly to them, it's been shifting the industry. So a big shout out to him. He was selling extensions out of the back of his car and realized most black salon owners are not taking advantage of the hair product market. 95% of black hair salons don't sell any products. So Amir, I believe his name, Deshaun Amir, is on a mission to empower hairstylists and put the money back into their pockets. The company recently added Mike Smith, the COO of Stitch Fix, to their board. Amir will be speaking at this year's Afrotech conference. So if you are
That's
on the
what's
West
up.
Coast, make sure you make it over there.
And catch it at the
Yes.
Brown and Brothers.
Right. Oh, I'm sure they will have a fabulous booth with all that venture capital money. Listen, they booths better be fire. So, for everyone who likes to go to the movies and watch previews, 20th Century Fox, or you like the previews?
I like previews.
I will make it to the movie early.
Yeah.
Some of these previews be really dope.
Right, especially if it's a movie like you want to see what else is attached
Right,
to it, because
absolutely.
now they kind of do it smartly where the previews match kind of what the movie is. But 20th Century Fox is stepping it up because they are using AI, artificial intelligence, to analyze movie trailers and find out which films audience want to see. So, to help determine the best previews to show before a specific movie, researchers from 20th Century Fox Films developed a deep learning model to predict which audience will most likely see a film based on the film's movie trailer. So now you're going to be able to get smart trailers that speak to you because you like going to movies to watch the
So
trailers.
what if enough people don't interact with it? Are they gonna pull the movie?
Probably not.
Yeah, I was about
They
to
may
say,
just
like,
try
what's
it in
the
a different
consequence?
audience. They may just try it in a different audience.
So maybe you're thinking it's more specified to the way they'll do the marketing.
Right. It's the positioning. So
See, I would just start making dope trailers and see if people bite before I spend all that money
Right.
making the movie.
First of all,
Possibly.
you just everyone who wants to get a trailer made, just go to Marvel Studios and just have them make the trailer. You know what I'm saying? Like
First of all, Marvel's intros are just off the chain.
that's it.
by themselves.
Even though I know what the Daredevil intro is gonna be like, I still watch it just to see that red coming down over there. Like Marvel's intros, Luke Cage
Yeah.
intro, crazy.
Yeah. And then with Marvel too, you know you're going to stay for the after the credits because you want to see what the preview's
What's
going to
coming?
be for the next movie. Marvel kills it with their whole
I
setup.
am wondering when certain things like that are that surefire, why don't you just follow the template?
Yeah.
I've never seen a Marvel
He's
intro
talking
where I
to
was
DC.
like,
He's talking to the DC folks.
Right, because they not winning like that.
Batman, get it together.
They not winning
I
like
will say the
that.
Aquaman trailer is dope.
I haven't seen that.
Okay.
I haven't
It's
seen
still not Marvel though.
I
We
haven't
know
seen that.
this. I'm just saying it's better than, let's say, Justice League.
that. So real quick, to wrap it up, the way the system works is that it extracts features such as color, illumination, faces, objects, and landscapes to achieve accurate attendance and audience prediction for existing movies. So they could possibly use it to kind of like predict sales. But I think that if anything, it should be more so like to gauge the demographic. And then if it's not like kicking with this audience, like try to trailer with like another.
Well, I wish they would
movie
have used the
and see.
AI for Black Panther to realize we just need more Black Panther-like movies.
But it's interesting to see if they integrate this AI into social media as well. So you start seeing the trailers
Yeah, like on
via
YouTube or
that,
something.
like based on your own.
But trailers are
selections.
normally, what, 3 minutes?
Somewhat longer than others.
I just wonder, do people on social media have that kind of attention span?
If it's a Marvel trailer,
Right. Or like them Harry Potter trailers
I was
back in
about
the
to
day. You
say,
used
I
to watch
could
that whole thing on YouTube if you was a fan.
Yeah, I
used
can
to
see
watch.
Instagram extending time frames just for additional marketing opportunity. Well, Instagram now Facebook,
Right.
because all the people,
Same
at,
people.
or they could
all the
break,
people at Instagram
they
that
could
work
br-
with Facebook left.
break it up into 50-second segments, and you just swipe.
Oh, the swipe through.
Mm-hmm.
They probably gonna take your idea. You're gonna see that in about 3 months.
Right.
We was just talking about that.
Exactly.
So, for Miami, back in the news, the Amazon H2.
HQ.
HQ, yeah, the H2. Well, headquarters too. Let's say.
Right.
HQ2.
I just some people ain't think you was talking about some app or something.
The New York Times is reporting that Amazon is close to a deal to split the headquarters between the Long Island City neighborhoods of Queens, New York, and Crystal City area of Arlington, Virginia. The reports are still not confirmed by Amazon, who intends to complete the search by the end of the year. But many people are convinced that Miami will be the site of the headquarters. What do you think are the pros or cons of actually? First of all, I really don't understand having it all the way down here in Miami just for shipping purposes.
Well, I mean, it depends on if they're trying to get into the gateway. Like if they're really trying to go heavy into LATAM, Caribbean,
Yeah,
Makes
then
sense.
this is where you want to be.
I'm gonna convert. I'm just gonna slide my statements on that. I just don't understand why it's not in Atlanta. Porsche has set up their headquarters in Atlanta on the south side, so anybody that got property over there, something that's probably about to pop off. I don't see why you just don't put it in Atlanta.
Well, remember Jeff Bezos is from Miami. Everyone forgets that.
That's great. I still don't see why you don't. Do
No, I'm just saying, like, people ask, like, why was Miami in the running to begin with for those reasons, right?
I understand that.
And so, part of it is hometown affinity, but I
Who
think,
wouldn't want to live here?
right.
The weather.
But
saying.
I
Well,
think
the
when
weather, the cost of living, we already know San Francisco are the Amazon employees on the West Coast sleeping in their cars and stuff.
Right.
I don't really know if it's going to work out here. At least if you can do it in Atlanta and build your own Amazon city in one of those little sub-cities. Bezos could just come through and buy a whole apartment complex and just house all the people and just be like,
you say you're gonna
you
set up
gotta-
next to Tyler Perry Studios.
yeah, I'm just saying you could do it and be like, you got a lower pay because we paying for your housing. Like, just move in here and stay here and just walk to work right across the street.
That sounds like Sorry to Bother You. That sounds like the whole concept from that movie right now.
But I mean, the Atlanta airport is continuing to expand, even though both cities have horrible traffic.
Yeah.
Can Miami sustain the traffic of what an Amazon headquarters would bring to it?
Well, remember, this is their corporate headquarters, so this isn't a warehouse facility. This isn't a shipping facility. This is where their marketing, business, all those folks are. So the answer, I think, is yes.
Yeah, it was just like a Carnival headquarters or Burger King headquarters. They're all here.
Well,
see it
won't you
being
do
that
like
way
every
good.
other big tech company and just move to Broward County and claim you're in South Florida or Miami?
Well, it was
sure.
a tri-county effort. Like Broward, Palm Beach, and Miami went after the bid. So it is a tri-county effort anyway.
Wayne Messam would love everything you just said, bro. You know that. So.
Look, I got to keep it real for the people that pay attention. All right, so this one was kind of funny.
Which one?
The 7-Eleven. Yeah, shout out to our AP for this one. Let's just get a little bit of humor in there. 7-Eleven has started testing new scan and go technology in 14 Dallas stores on Monday. So this allows customers to avoid lines.
You in the line for the Slurpee? Who in line for the Slurpee? Who is in line for the Slurpee?
I gotta move quick.
The first thing I was thinking is just like I get it that the Slurpees and hot coffee are now scannable, but like, are we in that much of a rush that you can't talk to somebody at the counter no more? It's
That's what I'm
7-Eleven. Have you just went to a crowded 7-Eleven? Is 7-Eleven pop? If they need to do that, they need to do it for Starbucks, because them lines those lines look like blue magic at the Starbucks line look like blue magic lines in these airports. I'm like, y'all just woke up. Y'all can't just get on the plane before y'all get this coffee?
It's essential. It's crack.
That's exactly, it's blue magic. I'm like, and I mean, they in there feisty. I just wanted green tea. Just give me some hot water in a tea bag.
They're doing it in Dallas,
two
so that must be a
words.
Dallas phenomenon.
I
can't relate.
For what's gonna get delivered the most? Swisher Sweets. It's going down. It's going down.
Okay.
Oh, you bring it to me?
Right.
Great. All right.
The 7-Eleven Now app allows shoppers to purchase items and select either in-store or pick up the.
That is a lot, guys. Like,
It's
already a convenience store. Like, now it's super convenient.
They is looking for all that convenience. All that convenience.
All around. 360 convenience.
If the delivery is selected, the order is sent to a courier service. Some of the couriers include Postmates and
I would say
DoorDash.
like Instacart type of stuff.
Yeah. The app charges a delivery fee.
Your Slurpee gonna be like $15 by the time you get it.
and soda, basically.
Right.
So, but you must put this on here with our great work from our AP. 7-Eleven does have a history of innovation. They were the first company to offer coffee in to-go cups, operate 24/7, and provide self-serving soda fountains. They were the first companies to do that.
But yet they could not change their name
Congratulations.
to 24 hours. Sir, you have
7-Eleven.
you stopped being 7 to 11
Long time ago.
25 years ago.
And that's what happened with the marketing team when you was like, our company name is 7-Eleven, but we're going to operate 24 hours.
Because they felt like Dunkin' Donuts. We're above 7-Eleven. We're just 7-Eleven. It don't mean the time. We 7-Eleven.
You know, the good pastors would say
Right.
both are numbers of completion.
Exactly. We master numbers over
Maybe
here.
there's something deeper to the 7 and 11 that we
Oh,
don't
I mean,
know
there's a
about.
whole Moorish history about that. Like the theory about it being like based on the Moorish history when the Moors invaded Spain, blah, 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 blah. There's about that. Right, that's what it's rooted in, of course. But
I like the way you try to give that.
they
deeper,
kept
though.
it.
I think
They kept it.
I think what the AP told you is you went deeper than they did. They were seriously on 7 days a week from 7 to
We
11.
already talked about it being 7 to 11. I was saying that was a theory that's out there.
That theory
in
is
the internet.
dead. They was just like, ain't nobody trying to refile all this paperwork for these trademarks. We sticking with 7 to 11, but y'all
That's what we
working
know
late
for.
tonight.
'Cause
Right.
7 to 7 don't sound as kosher as 7 to 11.
No. Just like Dunkin' Donuts is Dunkin'.
So in
Like, what is that?
1946,
What we
the
dunking?
chain's name was changed from Totem, T-O-T,
Totem.
M,
Because you're carrying it to go.
Totem. Totem out. So to 7-Eleven to reflect the company's new extended hours from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m.
They just didn't
7
upgrade
days per
after
week.
that.
So why wouldn't they 7-Eleven? 77-Eleven was
Prince messed around and took that route.
7.
93, 11.
So I wonder was Prince going to 7-Eleven when he wrote that song?
Absolutely. Shout out to 7-Eleven, Minnesota.
Right.
All
Fun
right.
times. Fun times.
So I'm not gonna get deep into this. I just want y'all to know Amazon has a mattress. We have all kind of notes on this. I don't know at what point am I gonna say Amazon is doing too much.
They've been doing too much.
Right.
Amazon, if y'all gonna give me a mattress, just put the app into the mattress so I can order everything while I sleep. Like a mattress?
I guess they feel like they need to get into that delivery mattress like Purple
No,
and
they
Casper.
just letting you know how lazy people are that they don't get up to go
Ooh.
shopping no more. Well, Casper has had $100 million in sale using their bed-in-a-box model.
Right, so
So-
Amazon was like, we need some of that.
I'm not gonna lie, I have been tempted to try, especially because they say you can send it back free. Mm-hmm. I want one of those purple mattresses.
Right. Go ahead and try you one. Let me know how it is.
End of the year.
Do it.
Company
do
gifts are coming up. You can get it for me. I'll buy a gift for Taco. You buy me a mattress.
That's not equal out to kid toys.
It's like some Hamilton tickets for
Versus.
some Beyonce. It just don't add up.
It made sense to me, but you know.
That's what's up.
So
So we going back to politics, or we keeping going on this?
Well, let's just get the
Other
FCC
stuff.
and spam, and then
Go.
let's do indie streets. You can do I'll do FCC. So
Yeah.
the FCC is giving pushing phone companies the opportunity to deal with spam. FCC chairman and the FCC commissioner sent a letter to over 12 U.S. mobile providers urging them to employ an industry-wide method of combating automated calls. Please, if I get one more person calling me asking me about my 2010 Chrysler 300, first of all, I don't even know. I wouldn't drive a Chrysler 300 if it was given to me for free. Like even when I try
You
to
sure? They think so.
look,
They said you got one.
even at the deal, even when I rent a car, they be like, "You got a 300." Oh, just because I'm black, you thought I wanted that 300?
It was
No.
the Phantom of the Hood in 2004, bro.
It still is. Hey, my old Lyft driver that took me to the airport yesterday had one with the Beats speaker in the back.
Oh,
like, I love this thing, but this thing, that bass be coming through.
Don't do him.
He was nice though.
They got that thump.
He said he had to leave corporate America. His wife carrying him, but he needed something to do. He said he picked up that time frame around the holidays, and I just made a whole
Working
bunch of
ever
money
since.
doing nothing. But that speaker sound great. All right, I gave Reggie a tip though. He was cool.
Give him a good review.
I rarely tip. I was like, Reggie was great. So by this time next year, they expect that consumers will begin to see this on their phones. So Verizon, even though I pay my bills on time, if y'all find a way to get these people to quit asking me about this 2010 Chrysler 300, and I know they're humans, and I support the police officers and first responders, but if y'all don't quit calling me asking me to donate to y'all, I ain't giving no money. And quit calling me asking for Dante, and then when I tell you he ain't here, they get mad at me. Well, where's he at? I don't know. You called us. It's a place of business. What do you want?
Right.
So let's get to indie streets.
So in these streets, y'all, China, you know, they just be up to all kind of craziness. So China has rolled out a new surveillance software that can recognize its citizens by the way that they walk.
Wow.
Yeah. So basically, the software takes a digital model of a person's silhouette and walking style and creates a 3D model of the person's style and stance. So it identifies step length, stride, cadence, speed, dynamic base, progression line, foot angle, hip angle, squat performance. And it even says, like, if you try to, like, change the way you walk, like, try to throw, like, a limp in it, it'll still know it's you. And it doesn't have to know your face or anything like that. So what China's doing is they're trying to create this whole, like, ubiquitous surveillance network where they're capturing voice, face, and now walk. So they already have about, like, 70,000 voice samples from their residents. They have, like, over, I think it is, like, maybe like 1 billion or so facial recognition, and now they're adding your walk. So they will know you regardless of where you are.
Big brother, stay watching.
Listen.
That ain't even Big Brother. That's downright scary.
Right. Minority Report, everybody who was like, oh my God, that's like crazy. That shit is about to be real.
And once it happened there, you know everybody
It's gonna roll
they
out.
gonna make the knockout
It's gonna
version
roll
of it.
out.
So they
So
the way you walk.
the way you walk,
I just don't know
your
how-
back could be turned,
But they have
and it'll know it's you.
they have facial recognition and this.
Facial recognition, voice recognition, and now walk.
I don't know if the walk will work in black communities, just because we diverse with our styles of.
But
that's
it
the
knows
thing.
it's you
The fact that you're so diverse will actually distinguish you even more.
more,
No,
right?
what I'm saying is like diverse individually. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes you'll be walking regularly and you see somebody you like.
Oh, you
switch
talking
that
about
walk
code
up,
switching?
You know.
But that's what it says. It can tell, like, if you switch up the way that you walk, because
You know,
it
sister-
measures your whole body.
I was about to say, but measuring all the way down to the hip movement, that's precise.
So a sister
Right.
who does a stank walk in the hood, but like
Oh, that bow
a
leg
non-
stance?
a non-stank in the corporate America,
She's still gonna get
still
picked
gonna
up.
Yeah.
In China, she's still
The
getting
system will
arrested.
know.
Interested.
So they rolled it out in Beijing and Shanghai. So everybody, whoever be traveling to China all the time, y'all in the system.
I have no desire to go to China.
Listen, the smog there is something serious.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So good.
So that was interesting.
What made you pull that? That's a dope one. What made you?
Because it was interesting. I was like, because it's technology again. I think that's the flip side of technology.
Right.
You know, it's technology can definitely be an assistance and something to help us, but then it can also be used for nefarious reasons because what they're actually doing is they're using this walk surveillance system to also track like the Muslim population that they're trying to like capture, not capture, maybe they make it's probably capture, and then they're putting them into schools to like control that population. So they're doing it to not only create their own surveillance database and probably be the first in the world that will roll out to other countries, but they're using it for population control.
Wow.
Yeah.
Didn't
Crazy.
they already have a problem with their population control by the one son, one daughter thing? One child.
One child, right. But now this is targeting cultural population control. So like a population, so example here, could use it for like Mexican immigrants. Because now you're like, I want to target them. Where are they? We have cameras are already everywhere. So if you have the surveillance system,
Yeah, Steve
now
Miller
it could
and
tap
Steve
into it.
Bannon are 2 steps ahead of you. They heard, second they heard that
They
was
was
technology
trying to
coming.
implement it.
They
Oh,
they're
it's
like, we're
out.
using on this 7,500 folks coming. right
Listen.
now.
Listen,
Wow.
yeah.
With a
So
drone strike at the same time.
How long we been on the air, Chief? 57. All right. Well, we can breeze through what. I mean, this is my opinion, but it's up to you guys. I really don't want to talk about the Orange Man. I mean,
we don't have to.
he's shaking up. Things ain't gonna work out for him. Auntie Maxine gonna get him.
She coming.
I say we save him for like. Just stay off the AP. We stay off the Orange Man till 2019. Well, you know what? So I will. Oh, so I'll touch on. I did get word when Rod Rosenstein got removed. Like that kind of made me think this man is going all the way. And the only reason why I actually want to bring that up is Lindsey Graham. You actually talked on camera. Don't know if you're sure. Cameras are a device that record digital images that replay back in 60 frames per second. And they capture audio. And you made this whole statement about how you felt about the consequences of if Trump made certain actions.
Right.
In the hood, we have this thing in the black community, we say we got receipts. We waiting to see what you do, Lindsey Graham. You was talking real strong. Jeff Sessions is gone. Rod Rosenstein is off, and I don't know who this dude that y'all got as interim AG, but
Dude was a CNN correspondent up until about 6 months ago. Yeah, Whitaker is the.
So I have to address who Whitaker is.
Okay.
All right. So the acting AG, Matthew Whitaker, here's what we know about him. He was appointed U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of Ohio in June 2004. He resigned in 2009 after Barack Obama became president. He ran as a conservative Republican for the U.S. Senate in Iowa. He finished fourth in the primary. Garbage. And of course, there has to be a Florida connection. According, Florida, why?
Dude.
We just gonna get cut. They're gonna Bugs Bunny us where they cut us off the United States. And
Listen,
we just
I said this
Florida.
earlier. South Florida needs to become its own state, and then separate.
They do. We need the
from
North
the
and South
rest.
Florida. They did it to the Carolinas. Might as well do it to Florida.
We need to do that, like ASAP.
According to Miami New Times, or just cut out my. He sat on the board of World Patent Marketing, a Miami-based innovation marketing company, which the Federal Trade Commission shut down last year after calling it a scam. There's even an email sent by Whitaker to a disgruntled customer where Whitaker touted his background as a former federal attorney and suggested that the customer's filing of a complaint with the Better Business Bureau could result in a serious civil and criminal consequences after losing his bid for Senate and leaving World Patent Marketing. First of all, your name ain't even patentable. World Patent Marketing, that's just a stupid name. Whitaker decided to become a CNN commentator. CNN, we gonna get to you tonight. And wrote op-eds claiming that Mueller's probe had gone too far and he would have indicted Hillary Clinton. 1 month later, he joined the DOJ as AG Sessions chief of staff. I'm sure Trump didn't hear none of the stupid stuff he did that let him in. So groups are staging hundreds of protests nationwide to date. First, look, man. Y'all quit protesting. Y'all heard what Obama said. Don't boo, vote. Don't protest, vote. The fact that y'all protesting and y'all didn't vote, I don't understand. If y'all can organize, and it's cold right now in some of these places where y'all protesting. If y'all can organize tens of thousands of people to stand outside, these chants have the same cadences from when Martin Luther King was alive. If y'all can organize all these people to protest, put that effort into getting people to vote. The protest ain't doing nothing. All they doing is watching y'all and seeing. You know what? Let's just get into it. CNN. I took the time today to do what I have to do when my wife is out of the house. I decided I was going to watch Fox News. Can't happen when she in the house, bro. It just won't go down.
Got you.
And the one thing I noticed about Fox is that Fox News had 3 different Democrats within the 2 hours that I watched it. And they covered a multitude of topics. I turned back and forth between CNN while watching Fox News, and the same stories was on CNN. So as we said earlier in our early dialogue, Fox has now become Sirius XM with a multitude of content, and CNN has become FM radio. It's the same songs on repeat as if they have a payola. If Fox is going to be considered what may be a liberal station, and whether you're just reporting the news and keeping the facts, expand what you cover and just quit talking about how bad Donald Trump is. Maybe you should highlight some of the great things Democrats are doing. Maybe you should highlight the wins more. CNN has become almost like the news is. CNN is spending 85% of their time talking about the bad stuff Trump is doing and only 15% of the time talking about the good and positive stuff. I don't think the strategy, and to me this becomes almost the same marketing campaigns and outreach campaigns that some of the Democrats are using. The strategy is not working. The reason why Republicans are working because they feel more informed. Even if I'm not saying they're informing them with the truth, but they feel more informed and they feel more power because they just get to hear more and see more. And I wanted to relate this, and I know you probably saw this in my notes, and you was like, why is Michael talking about life and chicken? And the reason why life and chicken ties into CNN and what's going on is there was a little debate that came up about 3 to 4 months ago where we was talking about whether you should clean your chicken or not. And so it's, to me, CNN this is a message to you. Whether you should change your format or not, it's kind of like whether you should clean your chicken or not. I met a young lady that works at a chicken farm in Atlanta, Georgia. Mm-hmm. And it was actually, I think it's Cummings is the city. Cummings, is that right? Cummings, Georgia. And I was like, I asked her 2 questions that I was very curious because she has to see these chickens get slaughtered and killed all day. My first question was, seeing the chickens getting slaughtered and killed, has that deterred you from eating chicken? Mm-hmm. And she said no. Now, the reason why I asked that question is because my mother used to tell me these stories of how in Alabama, in Connecticut County, in a little city called Castleberry, they would cut the chicken head off, and the chicken would run all the way down to the church. The church was at where I grew up, the little house I grew up in. It was a church at the bottom of the hill. The chicken would run all the way down there, and they have to run down and get the chicken and bring it back up with the head cut off.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay. So killing the chickens and seeing this hasn't deterred her from eating chicken. But then I said, do you still clean your chicken, or do you follow what FDA said where it said you don't have to clean your meat? And she said, I still clean my chicken. So, the thing is, even though a large agency, CNN, Time Warner, might tell you your format is working and you don't have to clean your chicken, the person that's killing the chicken is still cleaning their chicken. I'm not saying that you have to become Fox News. I'm just saying whatever Fox News is doing, it's working. And what y'all are doing has become stagnant. And even more so, MSNBC, besides Rachel Maddow, y'all got to get it together. Because y'all be speed talking like a podcast that's talking about gaming on Twitch with Monster Energy drinks and 13 teenagers in the background wanting to put their input in on Fortnite. Y'all is mad specific, son. Y'all get real boring. Just hire John. Everybody should just hire John Oliver and Bill Maher and just redo their whole format. And Trevor Noah. They need to come off of these comedies and these 1-hour shows. I need them for 3 or 4 hours a day. They should have more than an hour because I learn more from Bill Maher in an hour than I do from watching CNN for 6 hours.
But it's because of speed through the topics. Yeah.
CNN covers the same topics in a 2-hour block.
Right, it's like they're making just guacamole all day. It's just the same avocado.
And you know what? CNN, I love this man, but y'all got to get rid of Wolf Blitzer. That monotone Wolverine voice. Wolf don't do it for me no more.
There's a situation in the situation room.
Breaking news. Wolf at least sound excited. Like,
no.
Wolf don't do it for me no more.
No.
And Wolf have you noticed when he was doing the election, Wolf got a little twitch when he's standing, he be talking.
No. I was watching Rachel Maddow.
You got the Charlie Murphy twitch.
Wolf got a little twitch. Wolf ain't doing it for me. I like Poppy. I think Poppy should have at least more time. Poppy needs to go prime time. I don't need her in the morning. Poppy at least sound happy. But Wolf ain't doing it for me no more. And Anderson, I think Anderson about to tap out. He don't seem engaged. Chris.
They need to bring Soledad back.
Soledad O'Brien definitely needs to come back.
Yeah.
Chris and Don Lemon need to do a show together.
Chris Cuomo?
Yes. Chris and Don needs to combine.
You shake your head. What? You don't agree?
Nah, did you see John Oliver's take on Chris Cuomo's Instagram page?
Yeah. Oh,
everything about
Rose
just has me disturbed about all Chris Cuomo. So.
Chris Cuomo is definitely weird off camera, but I think.
But it might go together because the fireplaces and the.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But they're the best segment on the 18 hours of worth watching before CNN get to the repeats of other stuff. Is that pass off between Chris and Don.
Oh, yeah.
They need a show together. CNN, it's time to try something different. I understand why y'all took Anderson down to an hour. Cooper was starting to get boring. So actually put Anderson and Wolf together.
You think?
They don't have anybody that's stand out, that's dynamic enough to be alone. Chris definitely shouldn't be alone. And whoever came up with that let's get after it, they need to be fired. That is the worst slogan I've ever heard.
It might have been Rose.
Let's get after it. What are we getting after exactly? Right. And what is it?
Yeah.
So
that sounds so
just CNN, whether you clean your chicken or not, even though the FDA tells you not to clean your chicken, the person killing the chicken has told you, clean your meat before you cook that chicken. I'm the person at the chicken farm. Quit listen. Whoever y'all executive directors are, just fire them. Just let them go. Every executive director in AP at CNN needs to be fired for making us watch the same damn news. Y'all sound worse than an FM station playing the same 13 songs every hour on the hour.
Yeah, you turn away, come back, same thing.
So it was a lot. We need everybody to keep that energy. Georgia, be prepared for that runoff in December. Get out and vote. It's going to be a little chilly
December
during that
4th,
time.
right?
December 4th.
December 4th.
2 days before greatness happened. But just actually no, that's our day. That's the day, yeah. Oh, she gonna win. That's all black and gold. It's a wrap. Stacy, you got it in the bag. That's the best day ever to have a runoff.
Tell her to go rub on the tomb of Dr. King and head over there.
Do whatever she got to do. Alphas, we expect y'all to come through. I'm thinking 06 just in general, but it was a stressful week.
Yeah.
We still have a lot to do and a lot to go on. I didn't see any direct questions. Did you guys have any questions that you saw coming through the feed? I know you guys appreciate us talking about this, but we're gonna have to take a break.
Yes.
We're gonna have to get back to some more. It was. I've felt election frenzies. I've never felt an election frenzy that has lasted for this amount of time. So
it's been hot and heavy.
If you didn't get your questions in today, we will most likely not be talking about politics for a while.
Unless something real crazy happens.
We'll talk about Andrew winning. When he wins, when Bill Nelson wins,
and when Stacey
wins, we will say those things. We won't talk about it. We will say them.
I'm here for it.
So Dwight, I guess unless you want to come back and talk with about the regular stuff and the actual tech beats and bites, we're gonna take a break off politics with you.
I'm not a one-trick pony, man.
So you are always
well, you welcome
to come
anytime.
back.
I mean, if you can talk about chicken farming, you know, my people from South Carolina, they know about the chickens too, man.
Well, guys, thank you very much for joining us. It's been another great show. Thank you for all the support we've had. And once again, we want to make sure people know we do this for the people, but a shout out to all the shares and the 10,000 views that we got on our election coverage.
Yes.
We really broke ground with that one.
We here for it.
We'll be back. If not next week, maybe next. No, I'm just playing. We'll be back next week. We are going to take a break during Thanksgiving, and then we'll do one more show before Art Basel. Then we'll be taking a break. So try to get a round table discussion. So if anybody knows anybody that should be on the show, throw a suggestion in. We're going to let Dwight and Toya break them down since I'm the nice guy. So.
Right.
You couldn't even keep your face straight to make it
No,
through.
I couldn't. Sorry.
All right, guys. We'll catch y'all all next week. Thanks for coming out, Dwight. Thank you for watching the show. Take me some.